All right, we're back. We're at the trade deadline. Our team is absolutely slaying. Probably the most exciting year I've ever had on this game. This is the year we all built up to. Brandon Clark missed about a month with an injury, but he's having a fantastic season. As you can see, he has the super good game ratings, over 70, along with Del Monte and Bertuzzi. That Del Monte is putting up a big season there as a first-line center. He's got over a point a game. He's built up to good chemistry now with a bunch of guys. His passing's up to 16, and his speed is in the solid green. So it's pretty exciting to see his year as a 17-year-old on number one team in the league. We have Frasca, too, the younger Frasca, Jacob, who's on pace for close to 30 goals. He should have a big second half there. He's just got some wicked chemistry going with Forrester and Frasca there, his brother. And so that line is deadly. I love keeping them together. So if you look at the schedule here, we're starting to really put up some points. We're right before the trade deadline. I just keep pausing and not simulating past that in case I don't want to not make a trade and regret it later. I just can't seem to find any good ones to make. But yeah, if you look at the goals scored, we are we're playing some fantastic defense. Like only let up 2 goals, 0 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, 2 goal, 1 goal, 1 goal. So our defense is absolutely dominant. If you look at the standings, 32-6, but we've only let up 95 goals against. And no one else is under, 114 there, 109 for North Bay. So on the goal front, we're 20-1 in away games, by the way, just having a ridiculous season on the road, too. Point differential is rivaled by a couple teams there. So Kitchener's having a big year. And then Saginaw's having a pretty good season. I think they got Perfetti and Turcotte. So, and then they have like the best 18-year-old goalie in the league there, Tristan Lennox. He's up to 6'5" now. Wow. He is unbelievable. So that's a really good team. I think we might see them in the finals if we make it there. Coming from the West, they got Alex Turcotte, the 5th pick of the draft, playing there. And yeah, him and Perfetti must just be absolutely unstoppable. Perfetti's got a shitload of goals yet again. Wicked offensive profile, 16 agility, 210 pounds. So that's a team we're probably going to run into. Other team that's doing pretty well is Kitchener. I don't think they're quite on that level yet, but they're also pretty good. They got a couple big names here. They got the really good away goalie, Jacob Ingram. They got a couple studs there up front. Reed Valade, the old first-round picks, Steffian. So they're pretty good, but I expect Saginaw to beat them. I think the only one probably that could compete with those teams in the West would be maybe Flint, because they got a couple big-time players. They got the best goalie in this league. He's rated super highly, or one of the best. And then they got Brendan Ottman, who is on pace for a ton of goals again here. He's got a wicked winger, one of the best in the league. They got Bierling, a couple other big names. As you can see, a couple big centers here, which is good. They're pretty balanced, too. They got some good defensemen there. So that's a team that's pretty solid. But yeah, if I had to guess, I would definitely, like I said before, say Saginaw. Mississauga is going to be by far my biggest threat. They have the best player in the league, Lucas Raymond. Him and that line on that first line there is going to be really tough to stop. That's crazy skill they have in him. He is a nightmare to play against. And that teamed over with Team USA's center there, Robert Mastronomi, or however you say that name. He's an unbelievable playmaker. So that line with the Barrie boy, James Hardy, I would love to get my hands on him in a trade, but obviously it's not too realistic to trade for the first line winger from the best competition in the league. They wouldn't give him up for sure, so they're going for it this year. Then they have a really good second line center, Aiden Pruder, really good defensive guy, and he's 19 years old. So that team, and they got a 6'5" number one defenseman. Couple good. I traded them Big E there. I just didn't have room for him. I want some size. I got rid of him. So, anyways, that's the Saginaw team. Or sorry, the Mississauga team, the big competition there. So, if you want to look over the stats this season, who's been lighting it up, we have Del Monte. Bertuzzi's had a huge season, 34 games. He has 46 points. A lot of assists this season. He's playing really good hockey. Our leading goal scorer there is the right winger in the first line, 17 years old. Frasca's up there. As you can see, it's pretty balanced. Duhart's having a huge season. He's moved around from the 4th line, moved up, and there's injuries. He's actually going to be a first-line winger, I'm assuming, next season. There's no way if you look at the depth chart, because I want to keep that Frasca-Forrester line together instead of moving the one guy up to the first line, Del Monte left wing, which is doable because Del Monte's a wicked left winger. But I kind of think it would be better to have it like this because obviously you want to keep the Frasca brothers together because their chemistry is unbelievable, and you don't want to move that around. So you might as well just keep that line together, I'm thinking. And then I'll keep the first line. We'll still have the two 17-year-olds that are on the first line this season, Del Monte and Zarg, who are both having monster seasons. So it's probably best next season to move Duhart up in that first line at left wing there because he's a really good left winger, 19 rated. He's probably going to be able to put up 70, 80 points next season there. He's a wicked overall player, really balanced, has really solid speed and temperament and some really good offensive and defensive rating, good at face-offs, can shoot the puck pretty well, has some good getting open. So anyways, he is going to be a wicked two-way forward next season, or even potentially with that defensive forward on the first line with the two offensive guys. So it's funny that he's on the fourth line now, centering that fourth line, move up to the first line, but it's just because the way this team's built, there's so much. On most teams, he'd be a second line guy, but since this team's so deep, he's actually a fourth line guy. Because that third line is full of the two OAs. So we've got two 20-year-olds, 6'4", 6'2", and then Piercy, one of the best, better 18-year-olds in the league, 6'4", 210, and really good defensive forward on that third line. So Duhart's actually just been on that fourth line, but definitely is quite the player still. We're going to lose almost all those wingers. We're losing Tabak, we're losing that guy, the foreigner, we're losing Keegan, we're losing Hutchinson. So all we got back from those bottom six there are Duhart and Piercy. And then we're only losing Bertuzzi from that first two pairings there. So we're going to have Duhart replace him, and then we'll have Piercy. We'll see with Piercy, like, because he could be a third line center next year because he's such a beast. There's such good size, so maybe it's actually a good idea to start training him at center since he's a good defensive player. With some 6'4" frame would be nice. I think I don't really need to though specifically because we kind of have this guy that can play some center. He's a pretty good defensive player too. Just isn't very physical for his size, but he's got everything else you need. So probably won't bother with Piercy, although it wouldn't hurt to train him a little bit. I'd probably preferably train him on that left wing though, just to give him some maneuverability with the lines. Forrester can also play center too, which is the other thing. So we could always just move Forrester to center and Piercy up to that third line, second line right winger next season. Doesn't really matter either way. Forrester's an unbelievable playmaking guy because he's got such good offensive read. So anyways, what we'll do here is just kind of peek one more time at these possible trades. Peterborough's got a few guys up in the trade block. The goalie, which is so cool. He's the best goalie in the league. He's 19 years old. He's in his last season. He just won gold. It's the starting goaltender for Team Canada at the World Juniors. So his value is absolutely sky high. NHL guy, 6'5", wicked ratings across the board. But he's just, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, he'd be expensive. But we just don't need him because we have a wicked goalie. Silvos is pretty much the same. So there's no point in trading for Jones. He won't be around next season anyways. He'll be in the AHL. He'll be too good for an overage season. But as you can see, Peterborough's really bad. He's 4-15 this year. Getting shellacked in net there. Still really good. 4 goals against, but he's got over a 900 save percentage, so you can see his talent. So he'll be a big-time player, I think, if he gets moved to a good team. Hopefully. They got McTavish, who obviously isn't in the trade block because he's too young, because they'll be good in a year or two when he's older. But he might actually not even end up playing in the OHL much longer, because when you see a guy that's 17 years old with 16 power forward rating, those guys don't tend to stay in this league too long. You might make the NHL right away, so he might be a guy that I think you could target realistically in real life, but I think in the game his value would just be too high. It'd be kind of like impossible to trade for. You know what? Let's give it a try. Why is it saying that? He's not in the NHL yet, is he? That's strange. Well, let's try to trade for him. Yeah, there's no way we can get him, but it'd be kind of cool if we could. Let's see, a right winger. So if we traded 17-year-olds and then just gave up a shitload of draft picks. No, they won't even budge. So, yeah, no, there's no point because Zarg is pretty good too, same age. But just want to kind of give that one a whirl, see if maybe because they weren't doing so well, his trade value go down a little bit. But he's just too good, yeah. He's just too valuable. You'd have to give up a superstar like Brandon Clark to get him, which I'm not willing to do. Mason McTavish, though. Oh, having a 16 power forward on that first line with Del Monte and Bertuzzi would be so disgusting. Clark is just so good, though. It's just that first line defense. He's got to be the most valuable player in the league. It just wouldn't be worth it because he's McTavish is only like a point or two upgrade over Zarg. It's just I'd be so tempted. It's just having that first line goal scoring superstar would be so nice, but Cam Butler would probably actually be the more realistic option because he wouldn't even really be an upgrade over Zarg, but he's 6'5", which would be pretty cool. But yeah, there's no point messing with the chemistry now. We've spent almost a season and a half building Zarg's chemistry up there, getting him to. He's got good chemistry there with the first line guys and Forster and Duhart, who will be playing with next year. So there's just no point in moving him because, if anything, he's probably just as overall good as McTavish in the OHL. Not quite the NHL potential with his size and stuff, but he's got some wicked ratings too. Puck handling is just unbelievable. He's like a little wizard with the puck. Good passing, good offensive read, good defense, good speed, good leadership. Probably they'll wear a letter next season. So yeah, it's just probably not giving him up. Just trying to think what other trade you can make. It's just crazy how high Brandon Clark's trade value is. You can literally swap him for any player in the league, but definitely not giving up a 15 rated quarterback. I think that just went up to 15 actually. That's pretty cool. I think he's still on the tactics. I think, yeah, he can't do it right now because he's at the World Juniors, but I think he's actually set to a puck moving defenseman. So maybe we'll change him to a quarterback, so it's a 15 rated player. That's so cool. Just such a beast with 16 stamina. We're just gonna literally log him like 24 minutes this season next year. He's gonna play so much if he's back. He's actually projected to be a fourth or fifth pick in that NHL draft. If you look at the scouting on the NHL page, I can show you that. I think it's down here. I forget where it is. Oh, I might have just froze the game. Oh, I think it must be right at the bottom. There we go. Sorry. So, what we got, the number one rated player in the draft is actually Tristan Lennox. Wow, the goalie. Dylan Guenther, former first overall pick in the WHL. Chakia Ottman. And then we got the first overall pick in the Q last year, Josh Roy, who's a freak. Absolute freak. Having a big season there in the Q with St. John's. So, you got... Oh, Wilmer the American, yeah. This guy's a wicked player too. And then, yeah, next thing you got Clark and Kirby Dack's younger brother, Colton Dack, who was a very similar player. Also a 6'4" beast. And then, you got some other players there. But Luke Hughes actually is the top rated guy. Atu Ratti in real life is the projected first overall pick of this draft. He's just a physical freak, really good defensive player, incredible balance and speed as a defensive player. Just an unbelievable overall guy that can play all over the place. And Luke Hughes, who's a wicked skater like his older brothers, the other Hughes brothers, Quinn Hughes and Jack Hughes. He's got some awesome rated stats in this game, so those guys will be the top two picks almost assuredly with that goalie. Where did what am I looking at here? Oh, okay. So overall potential, Hughes the highest, but if you look, his current's quite a bit lower than these other guys. I haven't seen this goalie before. But yeah, if you look at the overall rated now, Tristan Lennox is right up there. Chakia's a late birthday, so he's actually his third season in the O. So anyways, that's enough this episode.